Just a random thought reflection. So we read this really tragic piece in the news. A local hiker, a teenage hiker, Quinn, Quinn Fike. They, it's a really sad story. The 16-year-old girl, um, basically was hiking, climbing around Lake Mead, and they apparently slipped and fell, and unfortunately they died. It's a very sad thing. Um, there might be a news article we might link to, but just a general thought about desert safety and whether it's in a remote place or a popular place like Oahu's Coco Head crater, that volcano. It's a long hike, uh, kind of like along those railway tracks. Even on that hike, we saw people really, good Samaritans. They were handing out. One person handed out water, and there was another one. Um, you had basically a hiker that fell several times. There are some folks that really shouldn't be out there. They could barely get down they could barely get down the ladder of the trail. It was kind of agonizing to watch, to see people struggle. But one thing about the desert, it's always a good idea to be very prudent. Know what your skill level is. Obviously, water, GPS. Make sure you have a signal. Consider a satellite phone, and water, water, and water. Mind the desert temperatures. It's it's very treacherous, um, depending on the time of year, and the importance of a GPS or a good hiking app. But we believe that it's a good idea to have an independent GPS because you can't just in certain places you got no signal. You drop down, you have no signal. Um, so satellite phone and a GPS, that's a brilliant idea. Basically knowing where you are at all times and having a line to the outside world if you're ever in need of aid, and also skill level. Uh, there are some basically spelunking that we won't even try because um, nature will nature will discriminate if depending on basically even your frame. If there's a really narrow crevice, just because someone else can get down on it doesn't mean you should necessarily try it. So the we love climbing all around Nevada. There are local hills, mountains, but being prudent out there is very important. Very important.